The rhythmic patter of rain against the window pane usually soothes me, a gentle counterpoint to the clicking of my keyboard. Tonight, though, it's just noise, an irritating backdrop to the storm brewing inside me. My fingers freeze over the keys. The mortgage statement in my trembling hands shows David's signature next to mine, but I never signed this document. Not again, not after what he did to me 5 years ago. My breath catches. It's happening again. A metallic taste, sharp and bitter like old pennies, floods my mouth. Panic. Cold, undeniable panic. I can't believe it. After all this time, after everything. The paper shakes in my hand. Joint mortgage agreement, Chen and Reeves. Reeves, David Reeves, my ex-best friend, my ex-business partner, the man who gutted my life and left me to bleed out, financially and emotionally. I force myself to breathe. In, out, slow, got to think. My eyes scan the page, the dense block of officialese, suddenly, horribly clear. Property address, 117 Willow Creek Drive, a 3-bedroom townhouse I've never seen, never heard of, never agreed to buy. And yet there's my name, Marcus Chen. And there beside it, a scrawl that's a passable imitation of my signature. Close, but not close enough if you know what to look for. And I know. My mind races, a frantic slideshow of the past few months, organizing my financial papers. That's what I was doing, trying to be responsible, get a clearer picture of where I stand. I'd stumbled upon a folder I didn't recognize, tucked away in the back of my filing cabinet. Property Ventures, LLC. Vague, anodyne. The kind of name David would choose. Inside, statements, utility bills, and this fraudulent mortgage. A memory, sharp and unwelcome, slices through the fog of disbelief. David, 5 years younger, all easy charm and boundless ambition, standing in our cramped startup office. It's a sure thing, Marcus. We just need to leverage a bit. Your credit is better than mine right now. Just a signature man, a formality. I'd been such a fool. Naive, trusting. I shake my head, trying to dislodge the ghost of his voice. This isn't just one property. The folder is thick. My stomach clenches. How deep does this go? He must have used our old company, Property Ventures, LLC. We set it up years ago. A legitimate vehicle for a small real estate investment we'd considered but never pursued after he happened. I thought it was dormant, dissolved even. Clearly, David had other ideas. He'd kept it alive, a Trojan horse waiting to unleash this new devastation. The statement shows regular payments. He's been making the payments. A cold chuckle escapes me. He actually thinks he's safe. He thinks I won't notice, or if I do, that the regular payments will lull me into… what? Acceptance? Complicity? The audacity is breathtaking. My hand instinctively goes to my phone, ready to dial his number, to scream, to demand. But I stop. No. Not like last time. Last time I was a wreck. Blindsided, emotional. He used that against me, twisted my pain into his justification, and not this time. A strange calm settles over the panic. Quiet, cold. I stand up, walk to my desk, and retrieve my high-resolution scanner. Methodically, I begin to photograph every single page of the fraudulent documents. Each click of the camera shutter is a small, hard assertion. I see you, David. I have proof. The metallic taste in my mouth hasn't faded, but now there's something else mingling with it. Something steely. I lay out the printed photos on my floor, a mosaic of his betrayal. Dates, amounts, forged signatures. A pattern emerges. He's been busy. Just as I'm kneeling there, piecing it all together, my phone buzzes on the desk. A text message. My heart lurches. I already know who it is. David, we need to talk, tonight. A chill crawls up my spine. He knows I've found out. Or he suspects. How? Does it matter? The game is on. The hiss of the espresso machine is a venomous whisper in the background, a sound that usually signals a productive morning for me. But tonight, it just grates on my nerves. The upscale coffee shop, Grindhouse, is one of David's usual haunts, all gleaming chrome and minimalist furniture, a place to be seen. He chose the venue, of course. A power play. He probably thinks the public setting will keep me from making a scene. He's always underestimated me. I spot him in a corner booth, nursing a latte, looking entirely too pleased with himself. That familiar smirk plays on his lips as I approach. The bitter aroma of over-roasted coffee beans, something I usually don't mind, burns my nostrils. It smells like him, all surface appeal, fundamentally flawed. Marcus. He nods, as if we're just old friends catching up, as if he hasn't just detonated a bomb in my life, again. David. I keep my voice level, betraying none of the fury simmering beneath. I sit, placing my phone on the table beside me, screen down. He doesn't need to know it's already recording. Thanks for coming, he says, leaning back, expansive. Figured it was time we cleared the air. Cleared the air? I echo, a dangerous edge creeping into my tone. Or did you mean confess to multiple felonies? His smirk falters, just for a second. Straight to the point, eh, Marcus? Some things never change. Some things do, David. For instance, I'm no longer the naive idiot you took me for 5 years ago. I lean forward. 117 Willow Creek Drive. Sound familiar? He sighs, a theatrical display of exasperation. Look, I was going to tell you. When, David? When the market crashed and you needed me to bail you out? Or when you decided to sell and wanted my real signature on the closing documents? He takes a slow sip of his latte, buying time. It's not like that. It's an investment for us. Us? I nearly laugh. There is no us, David. Not since you stole my company, my code, my future. Oh, here we go again with the ancient history, he scoffs. I made that software a success. You were sitting on it. It was my intellectual property. The heat is rising in me now, but I fight to keep it controlled. Just like 117 Willow Creek Drive is supposedly my property, except I never signed any mortgage documents, David. He finally drops the pretense of calm. His eyes narrow. I needed your credit score, Marcus. It's that simple. And you weren't answering my calls about new ventures. This was a solid opportunity. Low risk, high reward. Low risk for you, you mean? Since my name, my credit, is on the line. I watch him, the way his jaw tightens, the slight flare of his nostrils. He's cornered, and he knows it. This is the moment he'll try to manipulate, to justify. It's good for your credit too, you know, he says, voice oozing false sincerity. Consistent mortgage payments. Lenders like to see that. They also like to see genuine signatures, David, not forgeries. He leans in, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper, the hiss of the espresso machine almost masking it. Okay, fine. So I signed your name. It's a standard agreement. No harm, no foul as long as the payments are made. And they are. By me. That's supposed to make it okay? It makes it a non-issue, Marcus. A technicality. I feel the familiar knot of betrayal tightening in my chest. He's trying to normalize it, to minimize the egregious breach of trust, the blatant illegality. A technicality that could land you in prison. He laughs then, a short, sharp bark that turns a few heads. Oh, come on. You wouldn't. Think about it. You bring this up, you create a mess. Your credit gets trashed right along with mine. All that work you did to rebuild after before. Poof, gone. He snaps his fingers. Is that what you want? His threat hangs in the air, heavy and suffocating. You can't prove anything without destroying your own credit. He thinks he has me. He thinks I'm still that broken man from 5 years ago, too scared of further ruin to fight back. You've been using my identity for months, haven't you? I say, the realization dawning with sickening clarity. This isn't just about a signature on a document. It's identity theft, plain and simple. He shrugs, a flicker of smug confidence returning to his eyes. Property Ventures LLC needed a good guarantor. You were always good for that. So, you admit it then? You forged my signature on the loan for Willow Creek. He hesitates. And in that hesitation, I know I have him. But then his expression shifts. That smirk is back, wider this time, more predatory. Willow Creek? He says, his voice dangerously soft. Oh, Marcus, bless your heart. You think this is just about Willow Creek? He leans back again, enjoying this. There are 3 more, buddy. 3 more little nest eggs, all tucked away, all appreciating nicely, all bearing your very helpful signature. The air rushes out of my lungs. 3 more? The sheer scale of his deception is staggering. The coffee shop, with its trendy decor and oblivious patrons, suddenly feels like it's closing in on me. His smug confidence is a physical blow. He truly believes I'm trapped, that I wouldn't dare risk my own financial stability to expose him. He's counting on my fear. He was wrong. The rhythmic tick-tock of the grandfather clock in my hallway is usually a comforting sound, a steady heartbeat in the quiet of my apartment. Now, it's a countdown. Each tick marks another second David gets away with this. Another second my name is tied to his fraudulent empire. My apartment is command central. Documents are everywhere, spread across the dining table, stacked on chairs, even pinned to a corkboard like some detective's obsessive case file. Bank statements, property deeds, the ones I could find online anyway, printouts of David's social media, living it up, naturally, and those damning mortgage papers. The rough texture of the photocopied documents is a constant, irritating reminder under my fingertips. I'm a software engineer. My brain thrives on logic, on finding patterns, on debugging complex systems. And David's life, his entire modus operandi, is one big, messy, fraudulent piece of code. It's time to debug David Reeves. I spend hours online, cross-referencing property databases, county recorder sites, and financial forums. It's painstaking. Willow Creek was just the tip of the iceberg. He wasn't lying. I find 2 more properties easily enough. A condo downtown, a duplex in the suburbs. The 4th one, the one he was so smug about, is harder to pin down. He's hidden it better. But I will find it. As I dig, the full picture of David's betrayal starts to coalesce. This isn't just about money or property. It's about a fundamental violation. He didn't just forge my signature, he co-opted my identity, my hard-won financial stability. My mind drifts back, unbidden, to our college days. David. He was magnetic back then, full of big ideas, infectious enthusiasm. I was the quiet coder, the one who could make his grandiose visions a reality. We were roommates, then best friends, then business partners. Property Ventures LLC wasn't even our first joint venture. Our first was Synapse, the software that was going to change everything. My software. The memory is still raw, a wound that never quite healed. He'd wooed investors with my prototype, then systematically pushed me out, claiming the core algorithms were his. He'd even forged my signature on an amended partnership agreement, diluting my stake to almost nothing. I was devastated, broke, and too young and naive to fight him effectively in court. The legal fees alone would have bankrupted me. He knew that. That was 5 years ago. He'd walked away with millions eventually. I'd walked away with scars and a burning resolve never to be that vulnerable again. Or so I thought. The irony isn't lost on me. He's used our old, legitimate business framework, Property Ventures LLC, a name I barely remembered, to perpetrate this new, far more elaborate fraud. My naive trust back then, my name on those initial incorporation documents, has become the weapon he's wielding against me now. I uncover a pattern. Small business loans taken out in the LLC's name, guaranteed by me, of course. Credit cards I never applied for. It's a tangled web, and he's been meticulous in covering his tracks, always making just enough of the minimum payments to keep the red flags from waving too high. This isn't just about revenge anymore. It's about survival. It's about clawing back my name, my security. I pick up the phone. There's a forensic handwriting expert I read about, a woman who specializes in exposing forgeries. Dr. Anya Sharma. Her consultation fee is steep, but what choice do I have? I need undeniable proof, something that will stand up if this goes nuclear. Dr. Sharma's office, a polite voice answers. Yes, I'd like to schedule a consultation with Dr. Sharma regarding a potential document authentication. As I'm on hold, waiting for the good doctor to pick up, I idly type in the address of the third property, the duplex. Just curiosity. An online property listing pops up. Rented. The listing agent's photos show the interior, nicely furnished, modern appliances. One photo catches my eye, a framed picture on a mantelpiece. It's blurry, but is that David? With a woman I don't recognize? My blood runs cold. I zoom in. It's definitely David. He's living there. He's been living in one of the properties he fraudulently acquired using my name, my credit, essentially rent-free, while I'm stuck here, drowning in his mess. The audacity, the sheer, unmitigated gall of the man. Dr. Sharma speaking. Her voice is crisp, professional. The last vestiges of doubt evaporate. He's not just stolen from me, he's spat in my face. He's made a mockery of my life, my trust, my efforts to rebuild. Dr. Sharma, I begin, my voice tight with a new, cold anger. I have some documents I need you to examine, and I believe I'm the victim of a rather extensive fraud. This isn't just an investigation anymore. This is war. The office wasn't much to look at back then. Second floor walk-up, questionable plumbing, and a persistent aroma of stale pizza boxes and broken promises. But to me, it was Silicon Valley condensed into 600 square feet. This was where Synapse was born. The software that was going to revolutionize data management. My baby. David loved the buzzwords. Disruptive innovation, he'd say, pacing the tiny room, his energy barely contained. Paradigm shift. I just loved the code. Elegant, intricate, powerful. I'd poured 2 years of my life into it, fueled by ramen noodles and the naive belief that talent and hard work were all it took. We were a team, or so I thought. He was the front man, the charismatic visionary who could sell sand in the Sahara. I was the engine room, the quiet geek who made the magic happen. I trusted him, implicitly. He was my best friend, my brother in ambition. When he said, "Marcus, we need to restructure the partnership to attract serious VC funding. Just sign here. It's standard," I signed. I didn't even read the fine print. Why would I? It was David. The stale smell of those pizza boxes still haunts my dreams sometimes. It's the smell of betrayal. The first hint of trouble came subtly. Investor meetings I wasn't invited to. Design decisions made without my input. David, suddenly evasive. His easy charm replaced by a glib defensiveness. "It's just business, Marcus. You wouldn't understand the complexities." Then came the day I was locked out of our servers. My access codes, invalid. My code, the heart of Synapse, suddenly inaccessible. I remember confronting him right there in that tiny pizza-scented office. The keyboards of our 2 interns went silent. The air crackled. "What's going on, David?" My voice was shaking. He wouldn't meet my eye, just kept shuffling papers on his ridiculously oversized desk. "We're moving in a new direction, Marcus. The board feels your contributions are no longer essential." "The board? We are the board. It's my code, David." He finally looked up, his eyes cold, devoid of any friendship, any shared history. "Actually, if you check the amended partnership agreement you signed 3 months ago, the intellectual property rights are vested in the company. And the company, as of this morning, is majority controlled by our new investment partners. And me. The amended agreement. The one I'd signed without reading. My stomach plummeted. He'd planned this. For months, every smile, every encouraging word, a lie. He'd stolen Synapse, my brainchild, my future. The financial devastation was swift. My meager savings vanished, swallowed by initial legal consultations that went nowhere. The lawyers were sympathetic, but blunt. "He outmaneuvered you, son. You signed the papers. It'll cost a fortune to fight this, and your chances are slim." A fortune I didn't have. He abandoned me there, in the ruins of our shared dream. He went on to launch Synapse to great fanfare, hailed as a wunderkind. My name was never mentioned. He became a millionaire. I became a cautionary tale. But I survived. I had to. I crawled out of that wreckage piece by painful piece. I took freelance coding gigs, worked myself to the bone, rebuilt my life, my career, my credit. I learned to be meticulous, to trust no one implicitly, to always read the fine print. I'd even kept backups. Late one night, before the final lockout, a premonition, a flicker of unease had made me copy all my core Synapse code onto an encrypted thumb drive. It wasn't enough to reclaim the company. Not then. But it was a small act of defiance, a secret comfort. Proof, if only to myself, that it was mine. The irony now is almost physically painful. David's current success, the very money he's likely using to fund these fraudulent property ventures, was built on the foundations of my stolen work. And here he is, 5 years later, thinking he can do it all over again, thinking I'm still that broken, naive kid. I look at the evidence spread before me. The forged mortgage documents. The trail of deceit. A cold fury settles in my heart. I had vowed, back then, in the ashes of Synapse, that I would never be that vulnerable. That foolish, again. He's counting on me being too scared, too beaten down to fight. He has no idea who I've become. My kitchen table looks like a war room. Legal pads filled with frantic scribbles, printouts of property laws, and David's forged documents are spread out like battle plans. The steady drip, drip, drip of the leaky faucet in the sink is the only sound, an irritating metronome counting down the time until I make my move. My initial rage has subsided, replaced by a cold, calculating focus. Confrontation got me nowhere last time. This time I need leverage, I need a strategy. My first call is to a real estate attorney, a sharp woman named Miss Albright, recommended by a colleague. I'm careful, though. I don't lay out the whole sordid tale of David's forgeries. Not yet. I frame it as a query about a problematic business partner in a joint LLC. "Miss Albright," I say, keeping my voice calm, professional. "I'm a part owner of several properties through an LLC. My partner, well, let's just say our working relationship is broken down. I'm exploring my options regarding the sale of these properties." "Are both your names on the deeds and the mortgages, Mr. Chen?" she asks, her tone all business. "Yes, and on the LLC's operating agreement." "Then, generally speaking, as a registered owner and member of the LLC, you likely have the authority to initiate a sale, provided you follow the procedures outlined in your operating agreement and state law. Of course, your partner would typically need to be involved in the final closing." A spark ignites in my mind. He'd need to be involved in the final closing, but what if the sales happened so fast, so decisively that by the time he realized it was a fait accompli? And more importantly, if my signature is on the deed, even a forged one that he put there, doesn't that give me certain rights? I spend the next few days buried in legal research, property law, LLC regulations, the fine print of mortgage agreements. It's a labyrinth, but I'm a good navigator. And what I discover is gold. Because David, in his arrogance, made a critical error. He put my name on the deeds as a joint tenant with rights of survivorship. He did this, I realize, to make the mortgage applications look more robust, to leverage my, then pristine, credit history fully. He assumed that joint ownership, while giving me theoretical rights, also tied me to the liabilities, making me complicit and therefore unlikely to rock the boat. He thought it protected him. He was wrong. As a legal owner on the deed, regardless of how my signature got there initially, a point I'll keep to myself for now, I have the right to sell my interest in the property. And in many cases, I can initiate the sale of the entire property. The proceeds would be split, of course, but the debt, the mortgages David so cleverly forged my name onto, those would remain tied to the names on the original loan documents, namely his and mine. A plan, audacious and terrifying, begins to crystallize. What if I sell the properties? All of them, quickly, quietly. I can see it. David, suddenly discovering his assets are vanishing. His comfortable little empire, built on my stolen credit, crumbling around him. The beauty of it is its brutal simplicity. He forged my name to acquire the assets, but in doing so, he gave me the legal standing to dispose of them. And the loans, the mortgages that started this whole nightmare, they'd still have my name on them, yes, that's the risk. But they'd primarily be his responsibility once the underlying assets are gone. And if he defaults, well, that's his problem. A problem he richly deserves. There's more. I discover, through some discreet online searching of public records, that David has been investing his own money into these properties. Upgrades, renovations. He's been improving my fraudulently acquired assets, increasing their market value, increasing the potential profit from their sale. Oh, David, you do make this easy. My fingers fly across my phone screen, scrolling through real estate listings, comparing market values. The properties are in good locations, well maintained, thanks to David's unwitting investments. They'll sell, and fast, if priced right. A moral niggle, a faint echo of the man I used to be, whispers in my ear. Is this right? Is this justice, or just revenge? I silence it. David's repeated betrayals, his utter lack of remorse, his casual destruction of my peace of mind. He's forfeited any claim to my moral consideration. He sowed the wind, he will reap the whirlwind. The plan is set. Sell the properties, every last one. Let David deal with the fallout of the loans he so cleverly saddled me with. The proceeds from the sales? They'll be a welcome compensation for 5 years of stolen intellectual property and a fresh round of identity theft. I find a highly rated, aggressive real estate agent who specializes in quick sales. Then another and another. One for each property. Keep them separate, compartmentalized. As I'm drafting the email to the first agent, my eyes land on a picture of David and me from college, a relic of a forgotten friendship, still tucked into an old photo album. We look so young, so hopeful. A pang of something, regret, sadness, tightens my chest. I close the album. That Marcus is gone. David killed him. The leaky faucet continues its relentless drip, drip, drip. Not a countdown to my doom, a countdown to his. I hits end on the email. The first domino has fallen. The real estate office is a hive of muted activity. Phones murmur, keyboards clatter softly, and the gentle shuffle of papers is a constant undertone. It smells of coffee and possibility, and the faint, chemical scent of fresh ink on contracts. I'm sitting across a polished mahogany desk from Miss Carmichael, a realtor with a reputation for being a shark in a sensible blazer. She's the first of 4 agents I'm meeting today. 4 properties, Mr. Chen? She says, raising a perfectly sculpted eyebrow. All at once? That's ambitious. I'm a motivated seller, Miss Carmichael, I reply, my voice betraying none of the turmoil beneath. And I'm looking for quick, uncomplicated sales. Cash buyers preferred if possible. I've decided to play this as a man disentangling himself from a complex series of investments. No mention of David, no hint of the fraud. Just a desire to liquidate. The less the agents know, the better. My attorney, Miss Albright, has advised me on the legalities. As a named owner, I can list them. The complexities will arise at closing, but by then, I hope the momentum will be unstoppable. I've also taken another crucial step. All communications regarding these sales, from offers to inspection notices, are to be routed through Miss Albright's office. A buffer. A layer of plausible deniability if David starts asking questions too soon. She's not privy to the full extent of the forgeries, only that I'm extricating myself from a toxic business partnership. Miss Carmichael, and the 3 agents who follow, are all suitably impressed by the properties. Well-maintained, good locations. David, in his arrogance, had good taste and an eye for potential. He just didn't want to pay for it legitimately. Within days, the for sale signs are up. Not literally, in most cases. These are higher-end properties. The marketing is more discreet. Online listings, networks of eager buyers. The first offer comes in for 117 Willow Creek Drive. It's above asking. Cash. A 20-day close. My heart hammers against my ribs. It's happening. It's actually happening. I instruct Miss Albright to accept. The next few weeks are a blur of paperwork, emails, and discreet phone calls. I'm orchestrating a 4-pronged assault on David's fraudulent empire, all while maintaining a facade of normalcy in my own life. I go to work, I meet friends for dinner, I deflect questions about why I seem a little preoccupied. The tension is a constant thrum beneath my skin. Every email from Miss Albright, every call from an unknown number sends a jolt of adrenaline through me. Is it David? Has he found out? The second property, the downtown condo, gets an offer. Then the third, the duplex he's been living in. Each acceptance is another nail in his coffin. I'm careful, meticulous. Every step is documented, every communication logged. Miss Albright is earning her considerable fee, navigating the legal intricacies of selling properties where one owner is unaware and uncooperative. We're using legal loopholes, provisions for unresponsive partners, expedited sale processes for LLC assets under certain conditions. It's a tightrope walk, but we're managing. Then, one evening, my phone rings. It's an unknown number, but the area code is local. My stomach clenches. Hello? Marcus? It's David. His voice is tight, a noticeable change from his usual smug drawl. What the hell is going on? I just got a call from my tenant at the duplex. Something about a property inspection tomorrow morning. He said there's a sale pending. My breath catches. He knows. Or at least he suspects. The tenant must have seen the online listing or been contacted by the buyer's agent. David, I say, injecting a note of weary surprise into my voice. What are you talking about? Don't play dumb with me, Marcus. The duplex on Elm Street. Is it for sale? I pause, letting the silence stretch. You know, David, Property Ventures LLC has several assets. Perhaps Miss Albright, my attorney, has been in touch with you about restructuring. All communications are going through her. Albright? Who the hell is Albright? And what restructuring? He's practically shouting now. You can't sell those properties without me. Can't I? I say softly, a hint of steel in my voice. You seem to think you could acquire them without me. There's a choked sound on the other end of the line. He's connecting the dots. The inspections, the sudden need for quick sales. You wouldn't dare, he whispers, his voice hoarse. Wouldn't I, David? I reply, and then I hang up. The game has just entered a new, more dangerous phase. He's suspicious. And a suspicious David is a desperate David. The distant wail of a siren seems to echo the chaos erupting in David's meticulously curated life. I imagine him in his luxury apartment, the fourth property, the one I haven't managed to list just yet, his sanctuary, pacing, his composure shattering like cheap glass. The call from his tenant at the duplex was just the beginning. The next morning, he would have received official notification from Miss Albright's office regarding the pending sale of not just the duplex, but Willow Creek and the downtown condo as well. 3 uppercuts in rapid succession. My phone starts blowing up. Missed calls from David, dozens of them. Voicemails, each more frantic, more threatening than the last. Then come the texts, a barrage of accusations, pleas, and poorly veiled threats. David. Marcus, you snake! Call me now. David. This is illegal. You can't do this. I'll sue you into oblivion. David. Please, Marcus. We can work this out. Don't destroy everything. David. You'll regret this. I'll go to the police. That last one gives me a grim satisfaction. Go to the police, David. Please do. Explain to them how you forged my signature on multiple federal loan documents. I'd love to be a fly on the wall for that conversation. He's scrambling. I can almost taste his panic, a bitter metallic tang reminiscent of my own when I first discovered his betrayal. The tables have well and truly turned. He tries to contact the real estate agents directly, but they're under strict instructions to refer all inquiries from him to Miss Albright. He bombards her office with calls, with emails. Miss Albright, true to her reputation, is a fortress of professional calm, stonewalling him with polite but firm legal jargon. Then, one afternoon, as I'm reviewing the closing documents for Willow Creek with Miss Albright in her office, her assistant buzzes through. Mr. Reeves is in the lobby, Miss Albright. He's demanding to see Mr. Chen. He seems agitated. Miss Albright looks at me, an eyebrow raised. Your call, Mr. Chen. A part of me wants to hide, to let her handle it, but no, this is my fight. Send him in, I say, my voice surprisingly steady. David bursts into the office, his usually immaculate suit rumpled, his hair disheveled. His eyes are wild, darting between me and Miss Albright. He looks like a cornered animal. The sharp crack of his expensive leather briefcase hitting the plush carpet seems to punctuate his desperation. Marcus, he spits, ignoring Miss Albright completely. What in God's name do you think you're doing? Hello, David, I say calmly, leaning back in my chair. We're just finalizing the sale of 117 Willow Creek Drive. You remember Willow Creek, don't you? You can't sell it. It's half mine. Actually, Miss Albright interjects smoothly. Mr. Chen, as a legal co-owner on the deed, is perfectly within his rights to initiate the sale. You were, of course, notified as per the LLC's operating agreement. Notified? I was ambushed. He turns back to me, his face contorted with rage. This is theft, Marcus. Grand larceny. Is it, David? I meet his gaze, unwavering. More so than forging my signature on multiple 6-figure mortgages? More so than systematically using my identity to enrich yourself for months, possibly years? The color drains from his face. He knows I have him. He knows I know everything. I can explain that, he stammers, the fight visibly leaving him, replaced by a dawning horror. Oh, I'm sure you can, I say, my voice laced with ice. But the explanations are irrelevant now. The properties are being sold. Willow Creek closes tomorrow. The condo and the duplex by the end of next week. No, he whispers, shaking his head in disbelief. No, you can't. The loans, my money, I put tens of thousands into renovating the duplex. Unfortunate, I say, allowing a small, cold smile to touch my lips. Consider it a gift, to me. He lunges forward then, grabbing the edge of Miss Albright's desk. I'll stop you. I'll call the banks. I'll tell them about the forgeries. I'll ruin you even if it ruins me. This is it. The threat I've been anticipating. His ace in the hole, or so he thinks. I hold up my hand, palm out, a gesture of calm command. Go ahead, David. Call them. Please do. But before you do, you should know something. I pause for effect. I have Dr. Anya Sharma's full forensic analysis of every signature. I have recordings of our conversations. I have bank statements, email trails, a mountain of evidence that proves, beyond any shadow of a doubt, that you, David Reeves, are guilty of multiple counts of bank fraud, wire fraud, and aggravated identity theft. He stares at me, his mouth agape. The fight is gone. Only a raw, naked fear remains. Everything I'm doing, David, I continue, my voice quiet but firm, is perfectly legal. You, on the other hand, you're looking at significant prison time. So by all means, make those calls. Tell them about the forgeries. You'll be confessing to your own crimes. He sinks into a chair, deflated. The realization of his predicament, the sheer inescapable trap he's laid for himself, crashes down on him. He put my name on those deeds, thinking it was a clever way to secure the loans. He never imagined that same signature, that same legal standing he gifted me, would be the instrument of his undoing. The power dynamic hasn't just reversed, it's been obliterated. He came here to threaten, to intimidate. He's leaving a broken man, facing the abyss of his own making. The distant sound of traffic from the street below seems to be mocking his crumbling world. The days that follow are a whirlwind of finality. The satisfying thud of closing documents hitting Miss Albright's polished conference table becomes a familiar sound. Willow Creek is gone. The downtown condo follows 2 days later. The duplex, David's ill-gotten home, closes by Friday. With each signature, a weight lifts from my shoulders. Marcus ensures David receives copies of all final sale documents. Each one is delivered by certified mail, a cold, official reminder of his crumbling empire. I can only imagine his reaction as he signs for each envelope, each one another nail in the coffin of his fraudulent enterprise. The proceeds from the sales are carefully managed by Miss Albright, deposited into an escrow account. We're meticulous, ensuring every I is dotted, every it crossed. I won't give David any ammunition, any loophole to claim I've mishandled funds. My revenge is precise, surgical, and, above all, legal. David's attempts to stop the sales become increasingly desperate, almost pathetic. He sends rambling, threatening emails to Miss Albright, to the title companies, even to the new buyers. How he got their information, I don't know, and frankly, I don't care. He makes tearful, incoherent phone calls. But it's too late. The ink is dry. The deeds are transferred. Only one property remains. The fourth one, his primary residence. The jewel in his tarnished crown. This one is trickier. He's living there. He'll fight tooth and nail. But this property is also my ultimate leverage. Miss Albright files the necessary paperwork to list it. We anticipate his objections, his legal maneuvers, but his options are limited. His name is on the LLC, his forged signature is on the mortgage documents alongside mine. He's trapped in the web of his own making. He tries to file an injunction. It's summarily dismissed. He can't argue the sale is illegitimate without exposing his own forgeries. Miss Albright is a maestro, countering his every move with calm, irrefutable legal arguments. The final offer for his residence comes in. It's a good one. Another cash buyer, eager to close quickly. David's final, desperate attempt at negotiation comes in the form of a hand-delivered letter to Miss Albright's office. It's a rambling, self-pitying missive, full of justifications and pleas for a reasonable settlement. He offers to buy me out of my share of the LLC for a fraction of what the properties are worth, provided I agree to keep the mortgages solely in my name. I almost laugh. The audacity, even now. Miss Albright confirms what I already know. All my actions are within legal bounds. The sales are legitimate. The distribution of proceeds will be handled according to the LLC agreement and state law. David has no legal claim to stop this. The closing for the fourth property is scheduled. It's the checkmate. He's about to lose his home, the last vestige of his stolen success. As I sign the final batch of papers in Miss Albright's office, the bank representative a stoic witness, there's a sense of profound, almost weary triumph. It's done. The complex machinery of my revenge has run its course. The final confrontation is set. Not by my design, but by the inevitable consequence of his actions. He will be evicted. The new owners will take possession. And I will be there to witness it. The morning is gray, matching the bleakness of David's future. Moving trucks rumble down the quiet, tree-lined street where the fourth property's impressive facade stands. The new owners, a pleasant young couple, are already there, excitedly discussing paint colors with a contractor. The sound of their cheerful chatter is a stark contrast to the drama about to unfold. David is still inside. He's refused to leave, refused to acknowledge the eviction notices. A sheriff's deputy is on his way. I'm parked across the street watching. There's a metallic taste in my mouth, but it's different this time. Not panic, not even purely triumph. It's something more complex. Victory, yes, but mixed with an unexpected faint sadness. The ghost of a friendship, long dead, still whispers. He finally emerges as the deputy's car pulls up. He looks diminished. The arrogant smirk, the confident swagger all gone. He's just a man, rumpled and defeated, carrying a single, forlorn-looking box of possessions. He sees me. His eyes, hollow and red-rimmed, fix on mine. He walks towards me, slow, deliberate, like a man walking to his own execution. Marcus. His voice is a rasp. David. He stops a few feet away. The new owners have fallen silent, watching this uncomfortable tableau. The moving men pause, their dollies laden with someone else's future. You did it, he says. Not an accusation, just a flat statement of fact. You actually destroyed me. You destroyed yourself, David, I reply, my voice even. I just facilitated the paperwork. A flicker of his old defiance sparks in his eyes. You think this is over? You think I'm just going to disappear? That's one of your options, I say. He lets out a harsh, broken laugh. And the other? Prison? Is that what you want, Marcus? After everything? After all the years we were friends? Friends. The word hangs in the air, a bitter mockery. Friendship, David, implies trust, loyalty, honesty, words you clearly don't understand. I take a step closer. I know everything, not just the forgeries. I know about the Synapse code you stole. I know about the shell corporations you've used. I know about the investors you've defrauded. I have enough evidence to put you away for a very, very long time. He pales. He thought this was just about the mortgages. He had no idea how deep my investigation went. What do you want from me? He whispers, his voice barely audible above the distant hum of traffic. This is it, the moment of choice, my quiet power move. For him, and perhaps for me too. I want you gone, David, I say. Out of my life. Out of this city. I want you to crawl back under whatever rock you slithered out from and never, ever cross my path again. He stares at me, searching my face. And if I don't? Then Miss Albright has a very comprehensive file ready to be delivered to the district attorney, and another to the IRS. Your choice. An unexpected wave of doubt washes over me. Is this who I am now? This cold, calculating architect of ruin? Is this justice, or just a very elaborate, very satisfying revenge? The lines feel blurry. David's shoulders slump. The fight, whatever little was left, drains out of him. He looks at the house, his lost kingdom, then back at me. His eyes are filled with a despair so profound it's almost pitiful. There's nothing left for me here anyway, he says, his voice flat, lifeless. He looks down at the box in his hands, its meager contents a testament to his downfall. You win, Marcus. You always do in the end, don't you? Is that what this was about? Winning? Or was it about reclaiming what was stolen from me? My security, my peace of mind, my name? He turns without another word and walks towards a battered old car parked down the street, a relic from a past he can no longer cling to. He doesn't look back. The deputy, seeing the situation resolve itself without intervention, nods curtly and drives away. The new owners resume their excited conversation. The movers get back to work. The world moves on. I watch until David's car disappears around the corner. It's over, truly over. The resolution of our toxic relationship, not with a bang, but with his whimpering retreat. My transformation from victim to victor feels complete and strangely empty. 6 months later. The chaotic symphony of the city is a familiar comfort now, heard from the balcony of my new apartment. It's smaller than the house David lost, but it's mine. Truly mine. Every brick, every fixture, bought and paid for with legitimate money. The warm aroma of home-cooked food, a stir-fry I'm attempting with questionable success, drifts from the kitchen, mingling with the scent of new beginnings. A burst of genuine laughter erupts from the living room. My friends, my real friends, Sarah and Ben, are arguing good-naturedly over a board game. It's a scene so normal, so blessedly mundane, it almost brings tears to my eyes. The proceeds from the sale of those 4 properties were substantial. After Miss Albright's fees and settling a few outstanding, legitimate obligations of the now dissolved Property Ventures LLC, I was left with a sum that not only cleared my own debts, but provided a comfortable cushion. Financial freedom. It has a sweeter taste than revenge. And David? He's a ghost. He vanished, just as I'd suggested. Occasionally, I hear whispers through the grapevine, a sighting in some obscure South American town, a rumor of another failed venture under an assumed name. He's out there, a financial pariah, forever looking over his shoulder. The loan payments for those 4 properties, the one still bearing his name alongside mine, a detail that Miss Albright is meticulously managing to ensure my credit remains untouched by his inevitable defaults, are ironically automatically debited from an account he can no longer access, but is legally obliged to fund. A final, enduring consequence of his own design. I've reflected a lot on justice versus revenge. What I did to David? It was brutal, calculated. But was it unjust? He'd built an empire on lies, on theft, on my signature. I simply used the legal framework he himself had exploited to dismantle it. Perhaps it was a form of poetic justice, the kind that leaves you with clean hands, if a slightly troubled conscience. The unexpected moment of doubt I felt watching him leave that day has faded, replaced by a quiet acceptance. I did what I had to do, not just for myself, but for anyone else he might have targeted. That thought sparked an idea. With a portion of the funds, I've started a small foundation, a non-profit dedicated to helping victims of financial fraud and identity theft navigate the legal system. It's early days, but the work is meaningful. The irony isn't lost on me. David's ongoing loan payments, in a roundabout way, are now funding the very support I wish I'd had 5 years ago. Sarah calls from the living room. "Marcus, are you going to join us, or are you planning to burn that stir-fry?" I smile. Real friends, real connections. These are the things that matter. There's even someone new, tentative. A woman named Chloe I met at a charity gala for my foundation. She's an architect, smart, funny, and she has this way of looking at me, like she sees the man I am now, not the wreckage David tried to make of me. She knows a version of my story, the sanitized one about a difficult ex-partner. She doesn't need to know the gritty details of my revenge. She just needs to know my integrity, something David could never touch. As I walk back into the living room, the sound of their laughter washing over me, I glance at my banking app. A notification. Scheduled payment received. Mortgage account ending 4,321. David's still paying. Some betrayals, it turns out, can be leveraged into spectacular comebacks. My comeback is quiet, internal, but it's real. I rebuilt. I thrived. And in the end, that's the only victory that truly counts.